Okay, let's get this episode going. Okay, welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. I am Nate, and if you watch my show, you're in my corner. Okay, so today's episode is a post-fight recap show of UFC 166. Cain Velasquez versus Junior Dos Santos for the UFC Heavyweight Championship of the World. Yeah, some explosive, exciting fights, but some of them went my way, some of them didn't. And yeah, my buddy Junior Cigano Dos Santos, former UFC Heavyweight Champ of the World, did not win his belt back, or win the belt back, however you want to word it. And yeah, I met a bunch of fighters that fought on this card. Sarah Kaufman, she fought on the prelims. I was rooting for you, Sarah. Jessica I did a good job. That fight could have gone either way, but Sarah lost by split decision. On a little better note, though, John Dodson, he won by KO in round 1 against Darrel Montague. That was a great fight. Good job, John Dodson. I say either title shot or #1 contender match. Yeah, I mean he's pretty darn close. And we have Jeremy Larsen, who's on the left side. Yeah, this picture didn't turn out too well, but Jeremy Larsen, he fought on the prelims. He lost TKO round 2 to Andre Fili. And then on this picture, it's really hard to see. Here's me and like a huge chunk of the cast of season 15 of The Ultimate Fighter. We're hanging out in Vegas, MGM Grand. And yeah, Mike Rio, he's barely in there, but he's on the bottom part of the picture. He lost to Tony Ferguson by first round Darce choke submission. And yeah, that was easily one of the best fights on the whole entire card, if not the best fight on the entire card. Tony Ferguson, I'm also a big fan of Tony Ferguson. I like Mike Rio too, I'm a big fan of both. It's hard to pick who I wanted to root for. I was more or less neutral in that one because I like them both. But yeah, Tony Ferguson got submission of the night by submitting Mike Rio in the first round by Darce choke. So, let's get into the main card of UFC 166, shall we? Okay, so the main event was Cain Velasquez versus Junior Dos Santos for the UFC Heavyweight Championship of the World. Cain looking to get his second title defense as heavyweight champ, and unfortunately did. He won by TKO strikes in round 5. It was not even a close fight. I mean, it looked a lot like the second match of Junior Cain, where Cain was just teeing off, doing whatever he wanted to Junior. Junior was he was a little bit more offensive on this match, but still too much defense, not enough offense. He should have gone for some takedowns, even if he doesn't get them, like I said in the pre-fight show, that just to throw off Cain in his game plan, to try to take him down, because Cain's not expecting that. Cain's expecting Junior to stand and bang, and that was Junior's game plan. And like I said on my pre-fight show, I had this fight at 50-50. It all depends on how did Junior want to come out in this fight. Does he want to come out unpredictable and throw Cain off his game plan? Or is he just going to fall for Cain's tricks? And what I mean by fall for Cain's tricks, we know Cain's coming in with a good game plan. And is he going to let Cain initiate that game plan? And thus, unfortunately, he did. Yeah, Junior was trying to knock him out. He should have gone for some submissions, should have gone for some takedowns, should have mixed it up more, because it's mixed martial arts. You know, it's not boxing. Junior should have gone for takedowns and mixed things up, and he was just trying to land that right hand. And like I said on my pre-fight show, if he wants to do that, it's going to look like the second fight, and that's exactly what happened. Yeah, Cain only looked good in maybe the first 30 seconds of the first round, and then after that, Cain picked up momentum, Won the first round, won the second round, won the third round, won the fourth round, getting Junior up against the cage. Landed way more strikes. Cain was easily going to win a unanimous decision here, but he finished Junior towards the tail end of round 5. And yeah, I don't know if Cain deliberately waited to finish Junior in round 5 to pay homage to the first UFC Mexican heavyweight champ, Rico Rodriguez, who finished his opponent to win the UFC heavyweight championship in round 5 against Randy Couture. You know, so maybe was, you know, the second Mexican UFC heavyweight champ paying homage to the first one. Who knows, you know, who knows, maybe that's what Cain was doing. It was a joke, you guys. I'm joking. You're supposed to laugh. Okay. Yeah, good. Glad you guys are laughing. Yeah. But no, true story though. Rico Rodriguez, the first UFC heavyweight champ, did win by strikes in round 5 at a UFC event and won the heavyweight title against Randy Couture. Look it up. Anyways, so that wraps up that fight. I think Cain should fight Verdum next. Verdum is obviously the next choice. I think stylistically Verdum doesn't match up the best, but Verdum is rightfully the #1 contender. He's ranked in the top 5, I believe, and he has good jiu-jitsu, and that's his best chance to win the fight. If Verdum can take it to the ground and submit Cain, then he can obviously win the belt. If not, we'll see. But I think Travis Browne and Stipe Miocic, once they're in title contention, they'll be the most qualified to go toe-to-toe with Cain Velasquez. I think both those guys are well-rounded, especially Stipe has great wrestling, collegiate wrestling, and great boxing, and good enough jiu-jitsu to defend submissions. So I think Stipe has the speed, and he's not that old, and he'll be able to mix it up. Travis Browne trains like Greg Jackson's, and Travis Browne he has knockout power and knows how to mix it up too. So that is that's how I got it, and I think Verdum has a chance too. Don't count out Verdum either. You know, Verdum's a great guy. I met him. So the heavyweight division's looking really fun and interesting right now because no one's safe. I mean, it's the most talent-rich division. If you're anti-Cain, then there's still hope. If you're pro-Cain, you have hope. I mean, it could go either way, you know. Okay, then in the co-main event, we had Daniel Cormier versus Roy Nelson. Daniel won by unanimous decision, landed strikes left and right. There wasn't much for ground. There was very little on the ground. It was just Daniel using his speed and landing a lot more strikes per round. Did in first round, second round, third round. And Roy was really not offensive enough. I mean, he was just backing off too much and should have gone more forward. And I think that Roy Nelson should have gone for a takedown. He should have gone for a takedown and used his black belt Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to try to submit Daniel Cormier. That would have been the best thing, because landing that overhand right on Daniel Cormier, who can use his speed and already knows about it and is smart in terms of the striking department technically on how to avoid that by circling to his right and being smart about that, it was just, I knew it would probably be a long night for Roy Nelson, and unfortunately a good night for Daniel Cormier. And I said on my pre-fight he would probably win by unanimous decision, and Daniel Cormier won by unanimous decision. So that wraps up that one. Be interesting to see where Daniel goes in light heavyweight now that he's going down to light heavyweight. Then also in the main card we have in the lightweight division Gilbert Melendez versus Diego Sanchez. This one, yep, got this one right too. Gilbert won by unanimous decision. Good job, Gilbert Melendez. This was a brawl. This was back and forth. Kind of reminded you of a little bit of Stephan Bonner, Forrest Griffin, one from Ultimate Fighter 1 finale. You know, it was back and forth striking, but it was obvious Melendez was winning. And it was a hard-fought fight. I could see how it won fight of the night. I still feel like Tony Ferguson should have got fight of the night and submission of the night. Yeah, I mean, Tony really stole the show on this whole card. I'm really proud of Tony Ferguson. But Gilbert Melendez and Diego Sanchez, they didn't look too bad. And I say Gilbert Melendez either title shot or #1 contender match, because he's ranked in the top 3 for a reason. He's the man. Big Gilbert Melendez fan. He almost won the title. He was Strikeforce lightweight champion. He almost won the UFC championship, and yeah, he really did work on Diego Sanchez. It was a good, fun fight, though. Yeah, for sure. Then also on the main card, we have Gabriel Gonzaga versus Shawn Jordan. Yeah, this is the only fight on the main card I was wrong about. Gabriel Gonzaga won by TKO punches round 1. I thought that Shawn Jordan would win by knockout, ironically. I thought Shawn Jordan would avoid the submission game of Gabriel Gonzaga, keep it standing, keep his distance, find his range, and then probably in the first, second round, land a good left, and then a good follow-up with a good right, probably overhand right, and get the knockout. So, good job Gabriel Gonzaga. I say let's have him fight a top 10 guy, see where he goes from there. Then to kick off the main card, we had John Dodson versus Darrel Montague. And John Dodson looked great. He won by round 1 KO punches. And it was just a good, exciting match for John Dodson fans like myself. I'm really proud of him. He did a good job. I think that John Dodson should either get a #1 contenders match or title shot. But the UFC is probably going to aim towards putting him in a top contender match of some sort. Either winner goes on to a #1 contender match, or he gets a #1 contender match right now, or maybe if there's a bunch of injuries, then get a title match, who knows. But John Dodson looked great. He's well-versed, knows how to mix things up. He's fast, and he has a lot of experience against top-caliber opponents, so he looked real good. And yeah, again, Tony Ferguson, Mike Rio stole the show. It was just great to see Tony Ferguson back after a long layoff due to injuries. So I'm really proud of you, Tony. And that wraps up the post-fight show for UFC 166. Stay tuned for my next episode, which will be a pre-fight for Mark Munoz versus Lyoto Machida. I'll probably do that show within the week or so. So until then, I will see you.